What's up, guys? This episode is going to be really full because we have two things to go over today. Yesterday, the conclusion of the Talladega Cup Series race at Talladega ended. That was yesterday. And today, we get news of Ross Chastain's full-time ride for 2020. But before we get to too much Ross Chastain, actually, how about we start with Ross Chastain? Ross Chastain, next year in 2020, is going full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in the number 10 car for Kaulig Racing. He has done a couple races this year in that 10 car for that team, and at Daytona in July, he has raced for that team in the number 16 car and won that race, so we know he will be a playoff, if not championship, contender in that car. Nutrien Ag Solutions will be his primary sponsor for 23 races. His crew chief and the races that Nutrien Ag Solutions will be the primary sponsor of will be announced at a later date. Ross Chastain, obviously drives right now the 45 truck for Nice Motorsports, and next year he's moving up. And I'm excited to see how he does. Obviously, he's a watermelon farmer. Nutrien Ag Solutions, that's a perfect sponsor for him. So it's nice to see that. And that was announced today. Remember this. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. said it on TV for the Talladega race yesterday. He leaked. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is a leaker. He leaked that Ross Chastain's going to the number 10 Xfinity Series car for Kaulig Racing next year in 2020. He leaked it. And, it was announced today, but it got leaked yesterday. So, and it was kind of already alluded to. I kind of guessed that, but still, he leaked it. All right, so let's go through the results of the Talladega Cup Series race. Ryan Blaney gets his first win of the season, his third career win, and that locks him into the round of 8 for the playoffs. Yes, I counted him out of this round, but no, he advances with this win which locks him in. That's amazing for Ryan Blaney. He beat Ryan Newman by 7/1000ths of a second to the start-finish line. Ryan Newman was joking of how he wished the start-finish line was up closer so Ryan Newman could have won because he was leading then. Newman forced Blaney down below the yellow line, but it was forcing him, so Blaney still got the win since he passed him. And this race took up 2 days. The first stage was on Sunday, but it got rained out, so then the rest was on Monday. It was all sunny, so they finished 2 stages that day. Ryan Newman obviously gets second. Not much to say about him during the entire race, but the race was at the end. He showed up and he just got beat by Blaney. He almost won. I thought he was going to win, but Blaney snuck in and stole it. Blaney deserved it more, though. Denny Hamlin gets third. Denny Hamlin's hood flap was flying off during the race, just like many other drivers, and he had to start last because they had to change an engine, but it's nice to see Denny Hamlin get third at Talladega without getting destroyed. Oh, and there was so much carnage in this race. Eric Almirola gets fourth. Almirola and Stewart Haas cars had pretty strong cars today, and he gets fourth, a top 5 finish. Good job. He kept that car clean all day. Michael McDowell gets fifth. McDowell, what an underdog top 5 finish. He survived all day at Talladega and was able to sneak up there into the top 5 at the end of the race and survive even more and finish there. Great by Michael McDowell. And he was doing good all day, actually. Austin Dillon gets 6th. He led some laps in this race. He was doing pretty good. Another underdog gets a top 10, 6th place. Corey LaJoie, he's doing so good this year with Go Fast Racing. He gets 7th. Another great underdog survived to get in a top 10. His average finish on the super speedways this year is 10th place. That's amazing for that underfunded small Go Fast Racing. Chase Elliott gets 8th. Chase Elliott was involved in one of the 3 big ones in this race. He got destroyed in that crash where Logano rammed into Alex Bowman, which was the leader. But Chase Elliott was able to battle back up. They got the damage fixed. They made the time on the damaged vehicle policy, and they were able to get back up to a top 10 finish. Still good. He's still below the cut line, unfortunately, especially after that engine blow up last week at Dover. But Chase Elliott gets top 10. Really good finish, especially what happened to him in the race. Good to see him get 8th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. gets 9th. Stenhouse led so many laps. Stenhouse was doing great in this race. He really was. And he gets a top 10. I think he deserved more than a 9th place finish. He led lots of laps. Him and Newman, Roush Fenway's really stepped up their games, and Stenhouse was really great. Ty Dillon gets 10th. Ty Dillon had a Richard Childress throwback paint scheme, looked really nice, dark green. Gets top 10. He was running in the top 5 for a while today. And I'm going to keep saying today. It was not today that the race happened. But Ty Dillon gets 10th. Great top 10. Another underdog up there. Joey Logano gets 11th. Joey Logano was involved in, the second big one when Byron rammed into him. And Logano almost flipped over. Logano was able to battle back up. His hood was almost completely taped on, completely silver. And he gets back up to 11th. Overall, out of a bad day, they managed to get a good finish out of it. Well, mediocre to him, but good compared to the day. Ross Chastain gets 12th. Great finish by that. He survived, gets 12th with a bad team. And, I just told you the news of where he's going next year. Kaulig racing full-time in that 10 car. Excited to see what he could do next year in 2020. Matt Tifft gets 13th. He was doing pretty well today, top 10, but he gets 13th. Landon Castle gets 14th. That's pretty good. Parker Kligerman gets 15th. Kligerman was doing pretty well today. He got up. He survived the last lap on the front stretch. He just goes straight into the outside wall. What a hard hit by Parker Kligerman. It was really unfortunate to see that. But he still gets 15th, top 15. Paul Menard gets 16th. Now, this isn't Paul Menard. This is actually Matt Crafton because Paul Menard had to leave after the first stage. He did all of the first stage. So he started the race. So if Matt Crafton were to win, Paul Menard would have actually been the winner. And all the points go to Paul Menard. And he got out after the first stage. He completed the first stage because he's having problems with the discs in his neck. He's having lots of pain in there. He's afraid of a rollover at Talladega. So they put Matt Crafton, Truck Series driver, in there. And Matt Crafton finished it up 16th. He drove the last 2 stages. Crafton did. Not too bad. He sped on pit road. There were so many speeding penalties today. Or, not today. Kevin Harvick gets 17th. Kevin Harvick was involved in one of the crashes. Otherwise, he did good, like always. Priest kept dodging wrecks. Finally, he got some damage, 18th. Kyle Busch gets 19th. He got absolutely destroyed in the last big one. Unfortunate for Kyle Busch. Chris Buescher, along with Parker Kligerman, who gets 15th, rammed into the outside wall, almost flipped over. So did Kligerman. And, coming to the start-finish line, they were on the last lap. Really unfortunate for Buescher. He was doing pretty well. And he was also right behind Brendan Gaughan when he flipped right onto him. Daniel Hemrick gets 21st. He had a pretty good day going. Reed Sorensen gets 22nd. Wow. Clint Boyer gets 23rd. Boyer was maybe the best car. Won the second stage. I think he may have... Well, you can never tell. The Fords were good. Tandem drafting is back. Who knew that? And he was tandem drafting all the way. The Fords could do it the best with their flat nose. He was tandem drafting with, of course, Brad Keselowski. And Boyer got stuck on the apron and just things went south from there. He gets 23rd. Bubba got involved in a crash. Bubba Wallace, 24th. Brad Keselowski, 25th. He got involved in a crash as well. Already told you about tandem drafting with Boyer. Truex damaged all the time this race, got speeding penalties, everything. He gets 26th. Brendan Gaughan. Oh my gosh, Brendan Gaughan. He was taking the lead. Brendan Gaughan only does 4 races, all the super speedways this year, and he flipped over. It was crazy. He flipped over. That is absolutely crazy. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Everybody was getting destroyed in that crash. DiBenedetto, Kyle Busch. Man, it was crazy. Kurt Busch gets 28th. Unfortunate. He had a great car, doing pretty well. But unfortunately, he got destroyed in one of those big ones. There were 3 of them. David Reagan gets 29th. He was doing amazing. Him and Matt DiBenedetto both were at the end. 2 underdogs up in the top 5. But in the last big one with Brendan Gaughan flipping over and Kyle Busch getting destroyed, they got tons of damage and they got DNFs. Unfortunate for those two, 29th and 30th. Blake Jones gets 31st. I think this may be his Cup debut. He gets 31st. He blew a tire. And spun. Daniel Suarez gets 32nd. He was mowing the lawn down there in the infield, crashing everywhere and mowing the grass. William Byron won the first stage, which was on the first day. And by the way, Chase Elliott got the pole for this race. And and 1, 2, 3, 4 starting positions were all Hendrick Motorsports. So that's awesome. William Byron was 3rd. He won the first stage, had a strong car, but got destroyed in one of the big ones. Unfortunate. Probably. Basically in a must-win to advance to the playoffs. Eric Jones, unfortunately, was doing pretty well, blew a tire on the first stage, but came back the next day, next stage, and the final stage, doing pretty well, but then he got destroyed in one of the big ones. Unfortunate bystander. Austin Terrio gets 35th. He was doing pretty well, I mean, considering that car, and then he got destroyed as well. Joey Gase gets 36th. Alex Bowman gets 37th. Alex Bowman was leading. Joey Logano just got such a big run and rammed right into Alex Bowman. Just rammed right into him. That caused Alex Bowman to go onto the apron, and then Alex Bowman slid up and crashed. It crashed Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Jimmy Johnson, who gets 38. Jimmy Johnson was doing great, and he was doing great, and then he got destroyed in that same crash with Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman, he's like minus 17 points now to advance to the round of 8 of the playoffs. Jimmy Johnson gets 38th. He was having a pretty good day, but then got destroyed. Same with Kyle Larson. Good thing he already won last week at Dover, so he has advanced in the playoffs, of course. So he didn't really care about these crashes, and he did get some stage points in the first stage. And Spencer Boyd gets 40th. The Truck Series winner gets last. So yeah, that's all I got. It's pretty crazy. Ross Chastain going to the 10 for Kaulig Racing. Ryan Blaney winning Talladega in the Cup Series, advancing to the round of 8. Dale Jr. leaking the Ross Chastain 2020 news yesterday, even though it was announced today. That's pretty crazy. Dale Jr., the leaker, he made a mistake, and then all the other announcers were like, yeah, full-time Xfinity ride. Pretty good. He'll be a contender for the championship. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye, guys.